This is Heart Rhythm TV. My name is Janet Han, and I'm here with my co-anchors, Dr. Suneet Mittal and Julie Shea. This is our first day at HRX 2023, and I got to tell you guys, look at this place, first
Amazing.
of all. Right? I mean, crazy amazing. I mean, walking into this place today, I think I was pretty astounded, and that only sets the tone of what we're going to expect, I think, for the rest of the conference.
Yeah, I mean,
for
the
the next
room's
couple
just
days.
beautiful, high tech.
Insane.
Absolutely.
It's hard to go back to the old one, no?
It's great. It's really great.
Insane. But today it was like jam-packed, super short day, right? We started at like 1,
Yep.
and then we're already going to end in about the next half hour or so only just 3 hours, 4 hours today. But already jam-packed with stuff. So what did you guys see today?
Well, look, we started off with the opening session. It was a really exciting session led by Jag. The thing I took away was a comment that one of the Apple executives made, which was, they already have 150 sensors of some type in the Apple Health Kit to monitor some measure of well-being. And it really struck me is that, there's a lot of stuff out there, but we just don't know, how to incorporate that well. And it was a nice segue to a session that I had the opportunity to lead on digital biomarkers and therapeutics. We really talked about, how critical it's going to be to establish workflows using some of these sensors and biomarkers to really optimize care. And so there's a lot of excitement, but also a lot of trepidation in how we're going to do this well.
No, absolutely. I think the other thing from like JAG's session too was talking about how do we make it that sort of wellness and prevention come to the forefront so that we're treating people, upstream rather
Right, like
than
holistic care.
reacting, right? Reacting to them being sort of sick or the population being sick. Like how do we get them up front before they get there? Right?
I
How do
mean,
we get
even
that paid for?
Incorporating things like mental wellness, mental health care, nutrition, those types of things that are important to holistic care. And that was kind of the point that they drove home was, trying to provide everything for the patient.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where I think the biosensors may come in at some point.
Yeah.
They're here, obviously, already, but I think even more so when we get into that sort of wellness space, we have the patient or the consumer take ownership of some of that so that they stay well, so they don't end up in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
By the way, one of the things that's really amazing is you see how many really bright people and companies are working on this stuff. So it gives you really great hope that as we sit through HRX 2024 and 2025, that we're going to see a rapid evolution and mainstream development and incorporation of much of what we're talking about today.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and the exhibitors that are here, the companies that are here, and the things that they are doing is really, it's amazing, the technology that's coming forward. So I went on a talk on virtual care. So, virtual care became the mainstay during the pandemic, right? But it was here to stay. We learned how to do it, and we learned how to do it pretty well. But, where do we take it from here? So the session kind of focused on what works, what doesn't work, being able to get the patients online so that we can communicate with them, talking about cost containment, workflow, about maintaining the quality of care through all of this. And I think, on the downside of it is issues with reimbursement. How do we get reimbursed for our time? Obviously, the patients first and foremost, providing good quality care to them, but we don't do things for free. So, we have to figure out some type of reimbursement system for virtual care.
Yeah, I feel like the virtual care things that we talk about here this year are going to be so much more about solutions from what we've learned over the past several years. We've identified the problems clearly. At HRX 2022, we talked all about problems, and I think this year is all about, again, solutions.
How we
now
move
that we've
forward.
had several years working through these issues, right? I went to a great FDA session. I always feel like, who wants to go to the FDA session? I want to go to the FDA session, right? Because I want to learn, how do I get a device through the sort of minefield or what people think is like this big jungle gym to get it to the consumer. And I think that's always hard, right? Because there's lots of what we seem to be hurdles, but really the FDA really is there to help us try to get these devices out to patients safely, effectively, and make sure that the devices are really, they talked about how really they're trying to make it that they have a science-based pathway to make sure that the devices stay sort of current as new data comes out rapidly and as these devices change very, very rapidly. So that was a great session,
Yeah,
totally
and
packed.
I think a lot of this stuff is a spectrum between consumer grade and medical grade,
Yeah.
and each has its own, challenges, and then, what kinds of clinical trials
Right.
are needed, to really prove that there's value to this, to providers, to organizations, to patients, and
Yep.
I think that this is a rapidly evolving area.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So I think that wraps it up for today. So
Yeah.
much more to talk about. 2 more days
Yeah.
of lots and lots of data and science and a big room with many, many people here to chat it out. So coming to you live from HRX 2023. Thanks so much. We'll see you tomorrow.